Hi, I'm Jennifer Ackerman Haywood from CraftSanity.com, and this is my daughter Amelia, and we are doing the first taping of CraftSanity Kids, which we're hoping will be a semi-regular feature. We'll see how things go. Today, Amelia is going to show you a project that she did. She was inspired by a new book that's out. And what is this called?
The Big Book of 100 Little Activities by Lowell Mintle and Tina Williams.
Yes, and so this is a book for parents, teachers, grandparents, basically anyone who has children in their life that they want to entertain on snow days, summertime, rainy days. 100 ideas. You spent some time with this. You're 11 and you were entertained by it, and this is for little kids as well. So Amelia is able to do the projects on her own, which is really cool, but little kids would need some help. So why don't you talk about the project that you picked out?
So we're making the Piñata today, and I was inspired by the Piñata on page 64, but I changed it a little bit by not using tissue paper and not filling it with candy. So yeah.
So yours is basically going to be, it's a decoration.
Yes.
Okay. And you decided to use things around the house, not go out and buy things. This is a relief to me because we have a lot of craft supplies around the house. So Amelia was able to take, you used wrapping paper tubes that you cut up. If you don't, so you use that, and then also just a tube of paper towel.
Yeah, that one's paper towel. This one's a wrapping paper tube.
Okay, so why don't you tell the folks at home what they need to do this project?
Okay. So what you're going to need is one paper towel roll or cut up wrapping paper roll. And we have two because we're both going to make one.
Now, what if you just have a toilet paper tube?
Well, you could make a mini one.
Okay.
Or you could tape two together.
Okay.
And then you're going to need one piece of colorful paper, and it doesn't have to be the same color as your strips, which you're going to need soon. And then this is optional, but a hole punch. This one's a big circle. And this one's from Fiscals. And then you can use a pen or pencil. If you're using a pencil, I'd recommend getting an eraser too. Then one of these this paper cutter things, so it gets an even cut. And that's for cutting these strips of paper.
You cut 2.5-inch strips.
Yeah, around there. It can be 2 inches. It really depends on what size your paper towel roll is.
Your paper tube?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're going to need something to roll it with. We're going to use chopsticks, but you could also use a pencil. And then you're going to also need scissors, glue or tape. I think tape works better than glue, but you can use glue. And then you're going to need some washi tape, a hole punch that has a really tiny hole, and some embroidery floss and a needle. And this one's like really big, but you can
Yeah, you don't need a needle that long, but that's what you grabbed. Also, if you don't have embroidery floss, you can use string or yarn.
Yeah.
Use what you have. Okay, so we're ready to get started? Okay, so here's your tube.
Now we're going to get our Fiscals punch, and we're going to punch out some paper. If you don't have one of these, you can just trace around your...
Yeah, and this isn't even a complete, perfect circle, and it'll be fine.
But you want to cut slits in it, so it's easier to tape on. So let's cut.
Now, the cool thing about these punches is when you flip them over, there's a little window here, so you can see what you're doing. Okay, we have a couple here, so one hole will be enough there. Okay, so we each have one.
And now you're just going to grab your scissors.
Actually, let's hold them together so you can do both of them at the same time, since I don't have a pair of scissors up here.
Cut.
And their slits are, how big are the slits that you're making?
I would say about a quarter inch apart.
Those are way more than a 1/4 inch.
Well, I'm not a mathematician. Okay, we'll just cut them all.
Those are like 1 inch apart.
Well, see, I'm not good at cutting. And now we're going to get our tape.
Alright, so they're about 1 inch apart. And we're just going to go...
And just when those sections, and then we're going to flip it over so it's easier to do. And we're just, so when you fold down 2 inches, there's like a spot where you can tape it, because We're just going to tape them down in between each little slit.
So how long did it take you to make your sample?
My sample, it took me about, I would say 30 minutes because I had to cut all the pieces of paper and I was still learning how to do it then. But if you have everything pre-cut, I would say it only takes 15 minutes to really put together.
Okay, well I guess we're going to find out now how long this takes. Okay, so once we get this part done, and this is going to be covered up, so you don't have to freak out too much about how it looks.
And you can use like completely clear tape, like the invisible kind, if you're really worried about it, or you can use double-sided.
Okay, well I think mine's good.
Mine squished mine a little bit, but it'll be okay.
Okay, so next thing we do is we're going to take our strips of paper, right?
And
now, you cut them already.
Yes, I pre-cut them, but if you didn't, they're only 2 and like a 1/4 or 2 1/2, basically.
2 1/2? Okay, what colors are you using?
I'm going to be using purple and light blue.
Okay.
I mean, purple and turquoise. So you can take the dark blue and the light blue. So we're just taking our chopstick.
I'll take the pencil.
And we're just going to wrap. The pencil's a little bit harder because it's not the full length of the paper. And then you just
a wooden dowel would work good too.
And we're just going to wrap it, and then we're just going to pull our pencil out, and then we have it like curved. And it's okay if it's wrinkly because you won't be able to tell because you cut the slits. And then you're just going to cut little slits. And I recommend holding it on the side that you're not cutting at the time, so then you don't have to like keep moving your hand. And these don't have to be perfect. You can just eyeball them because no one will really notice.
All right. Now we have some to speed things along. We have some things prepared that Amelia prepared. I'm not going to take credit for this.
So here are yours.
Okay.
There should be enough, I hope. I cut about, so each paper gives you about 5.
Start at the bottom or the top?
Well, I like to start on the bottom so then you can get that part over with. Because the first one.
The reason why you start at the bottom though, there's a reason, right?
Yeah, to cover.
Now, if you're doing this with glue, you have to go a lot slower.
Yeah.
So,
but you can still do it with glue.
You just have to be very patient.
So when you're taping these, you want to tape it up the side one, and then you want to get a smaller piece and go like almost like an L, an upside down L, and just go ahead and wrap it around. And then usually you're going to get a piece. Usually you'll get a little bit about 1.5 inches where it's too.
I just overlapped that. But
you can overlap it, but I like to cut it off because I think it looks a little bit weird.
No,
but you can totally
mine's going to look a little bit weird, I guess.
And then you're just going to do your next color if you're changing, or you can just do one color, or you can do whatever kind of pattern you want. But when you're overlapping, you kind of want to start it always in the same place, so all your tape will be in the same spot.
Anxious here to finish today.
And when you get to the top, if you have extra, see how she has extra? Well, she probably can't fit another layer. That's where your washi tape comes in handy.
Now, if you don't have washi tape, because some
you
people
can
think,
use just Scotch tape, but you can get washi tape.
Could you also just tape a strip of paper or glue a strip of paper around?
Yeah, I gotta do my washi tape.
Reach around here. Next time we have to have scissors out for both of us. your string is already cut there. Yeah, I think by wrapping it around, that's how I went faster. So I didn't take time to cut anything.
I think.
So I'm just going through here
Mhm.
with this long needle, and then you just did one knot at the top.
Yeah,
right?
I just wrapped it around my thumb. And I would say the hardest part is either threading the needle for this or doing the bottom. But if you're giving this to a friend and you're telling them just to break the bottom open, the bottom doesn't have to be perfect or secured really tightly. Like that.
Here, I'm ready for you. Okay, go ahead and do your thing. You can take it off the needle probably, and it's easier.
My knot's kind of in the middle. And something you can do is when you hang it, you want to do like this. But if you're going to fill it, you can just take the
Double it up. That's a good idea.
So
Makes it a little stronger.
yeah, I made the same one as my model because I'm going to hang mine up in my room. And as you can tell, they're different sizes, but it doesn't really matter that much.
So you could hang them at different levels and create almost like a chandelier, paper chandelier in a way. Well, that was a good project, Amelia. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
And you basically adapted what you saw in the book, and that's the thing that's really good for kids too, is to adapt what you see, so you don't have to follow the directions exactly.
Mhm.
I rarely ever follow in directions exactly. You know that for my projects. I kind of do my own thing. Well, thank you for being on the CraftSanity channel. I think it's going to enhance the channel to have kids segments on a regular basis.
And if you want to see the directions printed out, we'll have them on the CraftSanity website.
So that's over at CraftSanity.com.
Mhm.
Well, thanks, Amelia. I think you did a great
welcome.
job on your first segment.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back soon with another episode.